Yo. Yeah, although I will admit I only have like half an hour to commentate, so... Oh, perfect! See what's happening with the stream itself.
Now, let's see, they hear me. Oh boy. Yep, there we go. That did it. You're kind of muted. Oh boy. Is this live or pre-recorded? Live. This is live. If it was pre-recorded, then you just have an entire stream of just me being like muted. So bad. Anyway, yeah, welcome in, guys. So, what I was going to say at the synopsis here, I guess I have to do my intro briefly all over again, right? Is custom card review is still in swing, but I had put it down for a little while in order to get started on my Digimon time stranger and get a good steady flow of streams going. And that's actually going to be right after this, so, you know, we're still on the grind there, fellas, but I decided to come back with this, and I thought I'd add in kind of an interesting twist, because at the end of the previous custom card review, we ended up doing a live stream, right? That's like a 4-hour live stream, and we just like blasted through the rest of the custom cards. And I thought, hey, you know, why not do something kind of like that, but actually just do it for the rest of the custom card review, right? Because I figured it'd be cool to get everyone else's comments in while I was reading these anyway, right? Even if I'm alone, which I'm not, thankfully. Say hi, Maz. Uh-oh. Maz is not saying hi. I am sad. Anyway.
I said hi.
Oh,
hello.
There he is. He's like,
okay.
Hello. Hello.
I'm here. Please acknowledge me, senpai.
I acknowledge you. And not forgetting twin castaways.
Man, I'm rubbing salt in the wound already. Damn.
Damn. Let me not bring that up. Anyway, so we're here to do some custom card review. Anyway, let's go ahead and get it going, right? So, Ein is a, let's just say he's kind of cut above the average custom card maker. He's done this for a long time. He's made some really sexy, beautiful cards. He rips these like card arts from like the inner workings of like the web. So think besides like Pixiv and whatnot. And yeah, he definitely picks some gangbusters here. It's really proccing my Shadow Paladin instincts here. Oh, a new Gallows, I wonder. So let's go ahead and start reading these. So he said that there was about like 10 in total or whatever. So we're just gonna blast through these. I can't, because they're in cells here, I can't like get them expanded for us. Maybe this time around my stuff gets shown. Maybe. I actually, while previewing a little bit of what's going to go on here, I just like looked for the names and the amount of cards I would be able to get to. I actually did notice something kind of interesting, but we're going to get to that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the show. I'm going to try and speed read through these a little bit because there's a lot I want to get done today. So we've got Morningstar, Eref, Anima. So he has in effect threefold. Now, let's just start with the bottom effect here. It says you may not have any cards with heal in a deck. That's going to become important later. This is the only card that I actually read prior. Now, auto on the Vanguard circle. When you would lose, that's the only time in this card game that has ever popped up, I think. Flip this card over. Return all cards from your hand and damage zone to your deck and shuffle it. Put 3 cards at the top of your deck in your damage zone, draw 3 cards, and end that turn instead. Perform all effects and rule actions. And then it also has another side effect where during your turn, for every 2 cards in your damage zone, your front row gets 5,000 power. And if you've got 3 or more in the damage zone, it gets critical +1. I'm so saddened that's not 4 or more, because that would have been the easiest limit break, but I guess he just wasn't feeling that. What do you think, Wes?
How does that last part of the text get enforced? Because here's the thing, is that effect isn't live until this card actually ends up on the Vanguard circle. So technically speaking, you're not breaking the rules with that last effect until this comes out.
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. You would need like you would basically need like a choice restriction. Like you would need to be a restriction list or like rule update, right? And not an effect. Yeah. That's a good point.
Either that or that effect has to be a part of the starter's effect.
Yeah, I could see that, right? Like the starter making that is probably a good idea. Because at least that one can enforce like from all zones or whatever. Who did like art? This guy rips arts from like all sorts of different sources, mainly Pixiv, I think. So he digs deep for these kind of like artworks. He hasn't quite told me his ways, but I'm not gonna delve into that. So Arethanema has an upgrade form apparently called Macrocosmic Ripper, which is even more epic than the first one. Auto at the beginning of your main phase, put a card with a ref in its name from your hand, soul, or damage zone into the right deck face up. Okay. And then put 4 non-trigger cards from your drop on the bottom of your deck. Activate Persona Ride. If you put a card from your damage zone, put the top card of your deck into the damage zone face down. Weird. So it's a Persona Ride, but it's like a once per. Is that a once per fight, or can you just put the non-ride deck copies into the ride deck?
That's what I'm wondering, because there is no limitation there that I can see.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. I wonder about that. Auto on the Vanguard circle. At the beginning of your turn, you have 5 more cards in your damage zone. Counterblast 2, deal 1 damage to your opponent's face. Dude, if both players are at 5, man, don't do that.
Just wins the game if they don't see a heal or OT off of that.
Yeah. Like,
and if you were playing this in a mirror, then they wouldn't have any heals in their deck either, so...
Ooh. Oh, but then again, if they're on just the regular ref anema, when they would lose, it ends the turn, so this actually, like, cucks the ref in the mirror match. Because it just ends his turn when he does that.
Yeah.
So that's a really weird interaction, you're right. During the battle phase, your front row's original power becomes the number of cards in your damage zone multiplied by 5,000.
Wait, so you have 5 cards in the damage zone, the front row is just always 25,000?
Yeah, I guess that's the point, which means that you don't really reap the benefits until you get 3 or more in damage zone, right?
So, and then adding on to Persona Ride, that's a constant 35k front row. And then, does this have the effect that if you lose, you reset the game? Because I'm guessing that doesn't happen with this one then.
Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, there's the Vanguard circle that says your other unit can't be placed in this unit. Oh, okay, so you can't Persona Ride over it. So once it's here, this is all you've got, which means... Oh, I mean, I guess so. The point of it is that, like, Arethanema is kind of like a stall card a little bit, right? It's trying to, like, last, whereas this newer Arethanema is trying to win the game. I guess it's very aggressive because it's getting, like, a lot of power. It's kind of weird that it lost the critical, right? But I guess the interpretation is that pinging the damage is just converting that extra critical into an actualized damage, although it's kind of gimmicky. I don't know about that one. It's kind of weird, not gonna lie. Burning Soul, Fear, Ego. He loves doing the equal size things that they like to do in anime. When brought upon by a card with a reference name, search your deck for 1 card, put in your soul, shuffle the deck. Any card! I would like to put in my Fire Regalis. Soul Blast that bitch.
Yeah, any card with 0 restrictions straight into soul. that is asking to be abused.
Yeah, you know what my ass might do, unironically? I might, like, so Soul Fear Ego's, like, putting in a ref, right? So, like, why not just ride this a ref, and then just manually search the original ref? And
yeah,
then just,
exactly.
Like, Persona Ride against a grade 2.
Yeah. There's no restrictions on any of that.
Oh, man, if they make quintet walls, I would play it in this bitch. No questions asked. It's insane. It's got a Vanguard circle skill that says you have 2 or more cards in your damage, and so you get 5,000 power at all times. Man, why the hell? What the hell? Okay, so like I said before, his designs are beautiful. The way he makes effects, though, I never said his effects were good, and I'm starting to see that we might have some balancing issues here, but, I mean, it is an interesting concept. He's definitely taking it a lot more esoteric, which I guess fits the card arts. Partial Mutation, Fear Self. I fear you, not myself. When brought upon by Fear Ego, you soul charge 2. Then if you got a card in the damage zone, you draw a card. Staroa Ride Line is pissed right now. Pissed. Holy crap. You mean Soul Charge 2 and get the guaranteed draw most likely, unless they just don't hit? I mean, I guess they don't attack you, right? That's the idea, is it's kind of stally that way. I guess it's kind of a question. You have a card in the damage, so it gets 5,000 power. Yeah, never mind, I'm definitely not attacking you. Wow. Lucky wish I was good at card creation. I mean, you get better with experience and taking people's advice, right? The right kind of advice. What's up?
That continuous, both of these continuous are live on both turns, I just realized.
Right, yeah, so they get defensive bonuses.
Yeah. So that means if you went, hold on, so yeah, if you went second against this deck, they're always just going to have that boost to them no matter what.
I don't know why your name is different, Luis, I'm not sure. Yeah, they will have that boost no matter what. And the thing that gets me about these as well is, it's like these effects are just telling certain archetypes to piss off, right? Like, Fierce Self has a Soul Charge 2 draw, which is just better than what Astro's Ride Line does. And then both of these continuous skills, I'm just like, man, Impaldio could never, right? Why even Secret Code Exceed? Like, God, that sucks. Starter is starter. Admire the art. Building Heaven on Cray. Whoa, is that the only time we've actually seen Cray referred to in a name? Like
maybe.
That's kind of... I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that yet, actually. That's kind of neat. So this has two skills. When placed on rear circle or put on guardian circle, if you have a Vanguard with fear or a ref in its name, choose a card from drop whose grade is equal to or less than your Vanguard, put it in your soul. Okay. Then until the end of the turn, increase or decrease its unit's power and shield to match the power and shield of the card. Oh, matching it. I mean, okay, so the thing that kind of gets me about it, it's kind of neat, but it's like, so one thing you can do with this card that I just don't know if you should be able to do is put back in the over trigger and just get the over trigger shield, soul blast it out, and then do this again.
The other thing that I'm noticing about this effect, like whenever I look at these cards, you know I'm always thinking about premium applications, right?
Yeah.
Valkyrian.
Oh, 70,000! Oh, but wait, yeah, because it's a Cray Elemental, you're right, you just play it in this deck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cooking, dude. That's crazy. No knows how to
and it's only, it's an on-place with no cost as well, so it is, like, the most freest thing that you could do.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of insane, dude. What the hell? What the... I don't know why. So, act on the rear circle once per turn. If your Vanguard has been flipped over this fight, this cost may be paid with Energy Blast 4. Can I Blast 1, Soul Blast 2, and draw a card? So, here's the thing. That effect is not that bad, all things considered, but the condition is completely asinine because you flip over your starting Vanguard. Like...
Yeah.
It's meant to work with the grade 3, obviously, but I don't think he worded that right. It needs to say, if your Vanguard has been flipped face down, that's the play action that you need to specify.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just your
Because
starter.
you start the game by flipping your Vanguard, so this is going to be live immediately on your first turn, and it's in Dark States, one of the few nations that actually has an energy charger in it.
Oh, because of Forkolore, that's right. Oh, shoot, you've got draw power for days, son. Yeah, because this also beats Forkolore, because now Forkolore can also, like, retire draw or whatever. Man. Evening Sun, Animus. If you have 4 or more cards in your damage zone and your front row does not have another rear guard, this unit in your Vanguard gets 5,000 power just continuously. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's sort of vulnerable to, like, getting controlled, I guess, but... And yeah, that's not that bad. If your Vanguard's been flipped over this fight, there's that clause again. This unit cannot be retired by card effects. Never mind about the control, bitch. Oh, God. Man.
So the first effect says that it has to be the only rear guard in the front row, right? That's what it said?
No, it needs another... You can't have another it in the front row. So you
you can't have another of it. Okay.
Right.
So, okay, got it. Okay.
Man. No. Protection of Idea. Draw a card. Choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until the end of that battle and deal 1 damage to your Vanguard at the end of that battle.
Okay, okay, I think that effect is fine, except for the part where it tells you to draw a card, because then this is just a free PG, essentially. That deals you a damage and can probably trigger your lose effect to reset the turn.
Yeah, you know what this kind of like, it feels like, oh, you know what, that's actually kind of insane. Yeah, because if you are at 5 damage and you use this effect, right, you could shut them down prematurely, right? You could shut them down prior to them getting drive checks. Because the key is that, let's say their Vanguard attacks you, right? And the Vanguard inflicts damage. Well, you check the drive checks first, but the guard step is before the drive step. So if you do this and bring yourself up to 6, they can't drive check, so the turn immediately ends thanks to these skill of the Vanguards.
Also, let's not, like, brush over the fact that this card is 100% completely generic, so every other Dark State deck would be able to use this card as well, acting as something that you can use as a PG on, like, a 3 crit attack and make it into a single crit attack no matter what.
This goes so hard in Greed on, dude.
Yeah.
So effing hard. Paying yourself up to 6, don't lose, and that means that if you guys were both at 5, now they can't get any heals anyway. Ooh,
yeah, that's the other thing as well, is that it just straight up just negates any sort of healing factor that the opponent could have.
Yeah, man. It's trippy. It's really trippy. Is it free if you're taking a damage outside that reset? It's only good versus crit attacks. Yeah, but the thing is that I would play it still. Because there's a lot of decks right now that are getting extra criticals. And also, another thing worth noting is, think about it this way, Graham. How many times in a fight have you been in a situation where the opponent's Vanguard attacks, right? And you're like, if they don't hit a crit, I win. This guarantees that scenario for you. You will only take 1 damage from that attack and even get an extra draw, which means you didn't even use up hand economy to make that reality happen.
Yeah, and the other thing about this is, if you think about it as well, it also basically does the same thing that Harmonix does in Premium, where say you have 0 face-up CB, but you need 1 CB for your next turn, this just gives you your 1 CB without having to worry about what the opponent's numbers are.
Yeah, it's very game warping to like how attack patterns work and the art of the damage deny and trying to like min-max the opponent's damage. It just throws out all the whack. And of course, it doesn't have the Sentinel ability to it. So for instance, you know, like imagine you're playing Blankmeyer and the opponent just throws this down on your Blankmeyer swing. You can't do anything about that.
And again, this is generic. There is no restrictions to who can play this in what deck.
Right.
Every Dark States deck could technically play this.
Yeah. What an obscene advantage that is. Holy crap. We're almost through it. Full Moon, Gimli, All, and if you have 3 or more cards in your damage zone, this unit gets boosted. That's fine. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked or boosted. If you have 5 or more cards in your damage zone, or your Vanguard has been flipped over this fight. There it is again. Retire this unit and draw a card. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a fine skill. Seems good.
Yeah, that's a fine skill. We're like, keep in mind that this is supposed to be like looking at your main Vanguard being flipped face down. Like keeping that stipulation in there, because otherwise, again, every deck can play this. Right.
Yeah. If we take out that funny little stipulation, we're good to go. Continuous. So this is Protecting Paradise, Envy, Diva. If you got 3 or more cards in your damage zone, this unit gets 5k shield, intercept, and get intercept from the back row. Yeah, that actually just seems like something that could release right now and no one would bat an eye at it.
Yeah, that is like probably the most common of all the commons seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they intended it that way, because one thing Iron likes to do is they like to design sets as if they were like in set releases. But you know, insisting that protection of idea is a rare is ludicrous to me.
Oh yeah, no. That card would never be a rare. That card would be a double with a frame rare that's both of them being short printed in the set.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. Holy crap. This is
that would be the Boba Mine for Dark States. That's what it would be.
Sweet lord, you're right. Overall, about a 5 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, I honestly, it's a very creative idea. I will give credit where credit is due with that. But these effects, holy shit. Like,
oh yeah,
no.
Oh, they're bad. Oh, they're bad.
Yeah, I'll give 5 out of 10 as well, just because of the effort here and going out of the way to actually make something that could work as an interesting strategy, but so much of this has to be reworked for it to actually be not even balanced, but just not broken.
Right, like not dead on arrival with how like unplayable that game state would be. Quadruple rare. The myth. It's like EA or whatever, or Ubisoft saying they have the quadruple A game.
No. It's not quadruple rare. It's double rare.
Ooh, snazzy. No, don't. Hey, is that a Dote?
Yeah,
hi Josh, it's me. Oh yeah, hey, it's a Dote. Sweet. Last year we reviewed my familiar witches for my custom story setting, Roulette. Everyone checked out my thread. And Oaths Keepers, please. You said that it was a 10 out of 10 ride line. You definitely called me the greatest custom card maker ever. You definitely said it. You know what? I believe him implicitly. I probably called him LeBron James of custom card design or something. In all seriousness, I don't remember too much about those, but based on how he's saying it, he probably had some improvements to make. So he says he makes some minor changes to the initial cards revealed last year. Some of your suggestions and criticism of mine. Ride line changes, minor changes on Mick and Meryl. I've added 6 new cards to the archetypes, so like a second and third set of supports. Pages 3 and 4 of the new ones. But if you want something new, you can also look at one of the other archetypes you didn't check out last time. You have updated synopsis for all the blurbs, complete with the new additional archetype. And, in spirit of the namesake, you can literally roulette for it here. Ooh, he's got bonus points for that one. I like that. I like that. Oh shoot, we're playing wheel, chat. We've actually got wheel on like which of these cards we do. All right, I kind of like it. Okay, so we've got like these are the other archetypes that I apparently didn't review last time, which means that we're just gonna spin these and figure out what we're gonna be doing.
I'm hoping that it lands on one particular one here due to the name of it, but I'm not going to say which one it is unless it doesn't get chosen.
I want Phantom Thief.
Infinite Testimal.
Infinite testicles.
Oh, it looks like it's Drag Ride. Okay, now I assume the drag in this name is dragons and not the other type of drag riders.
I just buy Masbo Stiff, I think it's like Dr. Masbo Stiff. Okay, so Drag Riders win, which is this one right here. Okay, the lore states, a group of native dragons emerged from the meteorite and has been calling the island their home for over 2 millennia. This new dragon race, dubbed the Ride Dragons, have been fervently repelling attempts on foreign intrusion during their time on the island, but now they have elected an outsider as their new leader. Right, so the basic lore is that these guys are coming from the various different nations together, and they're going on the island. It's kind of like a Fated Clash, but a whole island like survival kind of thing. So apparently, these Dragon Empire guys are just this is like their home, so they have home field advantage, I guess. They're playing defense.
All right, so just like from an aesthetic standpoint, I would imagine them being sort of like the Tachikaze caveman looking units where they all have
savages. Probably have like leaves and stuff on them, and
because they're all supposed to be like coming to this island as like a tribe, right? So I would imagine it'd be something like that.
Yeah, I think that's cooking, right? That's interesting. Hatchright Drake is just a starter. Cool. These are indeed Dragon Empire. The race is Ride Dragon. Okay, cool. Wind Ride Wyvern is a grade 1 ride line unit that states when it's rode upon by a Ride Dragon or a grade 3 or greater unit with Mirage. This is a grade 1, so I'm not sure how a grade 3 would do it, but we'll read on. Counterblast 1. Search your deck for up to 1 Ride Dragon, reveal and put in the hand and shuffle your deck. Oh, okay. So it searches any Ride Dragon just about for a CB. This kind of reminds me of Bar, the ride line for. It's the ride line for Overlord in Standard, right? Where you can CB and add a grade 1, so you just add like a Centaur or whatever. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. And also, it's balanced out by the fact that your opponent could just... Well, you could just go first or go second and not be attacked by that, right? There is a situation... No, you can always have a CB open if they attack, so...
Right, generally speaking, CB by grade 2 is theoretically always possible. The only way to get like CB on like turn 1 is if the opponent's playing like the Grandpa ride line, because they can attack you if they go first. High Ride Worm is a grade 2. Now, this one states when it's rode upon by a grade 3 greater unit with Mirage and its card name. Okay. Discard a card and countercharge 1. Huh. You know, that is actually... That might be a little overbalanced, if anything, right? Because isn't the usual ride line thing just say the next time they would CB, reduce the CB by 1? Like,
yeah.
Rebel has it and Grandiva has it.
I'm trying to think why you would want to, like, what does this provide, or what it could provide in terms of, like, the playstyle? Because I guess the idea is that you are going to be using a lot of counterblast from next turn, but yeah, you would just normally just reduce the next cost.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, this could have been a little bit earlier in life, but I guess it can't be that earlier in life, because by the time Divines came out, we already had the right line for Grandiva's reference, so I guess there's got to be a reason for why you're doing it that way. Or he's doing that way, I should say. Continues to the rear circle of your Vanguard rode in the battle phase this turn. I know what the Vanguard does now. This unit gets power plus 5,000. Sure. Yeah. That's a perfectly fine skill. Drag Rider Mirage. Alright, so combining the... Wait, okay, so grade 3 twin drive, 13k, triple rare. The island is full of interesting creatures. This journal will describe the ones I've documented. So apparently this one is like their new leader, I guess, the one they've like done for a foreigner. Dragon Empire High Beast. Oh, shoot, I get it. It's a High Beast because it's not a drag rider. He was a foreigner, right? So that's why this guy is like a little different. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose the unit rode upon, and this unit gains its original power until the end of the turn. Which I guess if you Persona Ride Mirage, it gets an extra 13k, right?
Is there any unit in Dragon Empire that's a grade 2 that you could play in your ride line that has a higher than normal base power?
Chat, come with me on an adventure, because we're gonna figure this out together. Okay, so I'm gonna go for a grade 2 in Dragon Empire, and its power is going to be 11,000. So basically anything above 10,000. Nothing, because this thing has an effect that says it cannot be written. So there's nothing.
Okay. Okay, just making sure, because if there was something, you could... You see where I was going with that.
Yeah, you would just ride over, like, the higher base and get its power. Like, if they have, like, a 20k base and this thing just gets 20k. If you're going second anyway, you can get it right away. Sheesh, okay. Drag Ride. Ooh, keyword. Nice. Out on the Vanguard Circle, the ability is unit attack, counterblast 1. Choose a Ride Dragon from your soul. Ride it on top of this card as rest. If you rode a card, choose a rear circle with a Ride Dragon at stand. Until end of your turn, it is a Vanguard Circle. Ride this card on that circle as stand. This unit gets drive -1. At the end of the battle phase, this unit rides. Ride this unit to your middle, front, or rear Vanguard Circle as rest. Now, one thing to note, guys, is this won't proc Persona Ride, because Persona Ride has to be during the normal ride phase of the turn. So you have the normal ride during the ride phase. That means this won't do that. Now, having said that, though, that is really interesting. So I get it now. This is during the battle phase as well that you could do that. That's why it doesn't read like the other ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's considered a Vanguard Circle as well as a Rearguard Circle, right?
Yeah, I think his wording's a little weird, but I think he should use the wording "it becomes a Vanguard Circle." If it does, then it's one and not the other now.
Because if it's both a Vanguard Circle and a Rearguard Circle, if you ride on a High Ride Worm that's on your Rearguard Circle that's currently 15k, does it gain the 15k when it rides on top of it?
Like this guy? Yeah, so no, he wouldn't get his power up. He wouldn't get like the 15k, I don't think, right? Because the way it works is that continuouses are like constantly checking. So it becomes a Vanguard Circle, then he rides it. So I think by this point here, he lost that 5k. So then it would just be a 10k when he rides on top of it.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Gotcha, alright.
And
so then you would ride Wind Ride to the top of your main Vanguard circle. So that's when it's rode upon, you get to use your counterblast to search for another one. Okay.
Oh, and then you set up the countercharge prior by riding over High Room on the rear guard.
So you would always have a CB available for that ride. Okay, I'm seeing the vision here.
That's really sick. That's really cool. Holy crap. Dude said, we don't do enough with riding. Ride more. He has a vision to ride as many times as humanly possible. I'm enamored, dude. I didn't even know y'all streamed these. Well, until today, we kind of didn't. Except for this one time during last year. But aside from that one instance, yeah. So I'm trying something new here. See, trying to get people in on the action. Flying orange potato jump scare. What the heck? Sheesh. Okay, so Moonride Draco seems to be a grade 2. Dragon Empire Ride Dragon. If you have a Mirage Vanguard, this unit gets 5,000 power and shield. Active during the opponent's turn 2. Perfectly fine. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 or greater unit of Mirage, and its card name, choose your opponent's rear guard sword. That just makes sense. It's cool. You know something I'm realizing too? This is one of the only decks in Standard where theoretically you would have a lot of ride variety. Because these all double ride cards.
Yeah. Also, Josh, real quick, I actually have to head out right now, so unfortunately I'm going to have to leave you alone. But I will say I am liking this deck so far.
Yeah, dude.
The deck is looking very, very cool.
Freaking, it looks so sick. Yeah, freaking, when, you can watch back on the stream and see the rest of it, but dude, I don't know, man. I might want to talk to Nadolte a little bit more about this one. This one's exceptional.
Yeah, anyway, good luck on the rest of the reviews.
Hell yeah, brother. Check you later. Alright. Now, Sunride Draco, which seems to be the counterpart to Moonride Draco, also grade 2. Twinsies, gets used to the rear circle. If your Vanguard rotating in your battle phase, this unit gains boost. Okay, nice. Nice. Auto, when this unit is run upon by a grade 3 or greater unit with Mirage in its card name, pass energy blast 3 and draw a card. Perfect. Freaking phenomenal. Flame Ride Serpent. 8k, when you ride a auto on the rear circle, when you ride a grade 3 or greater Mirage during your battle phase, this unit gets 5k to a turn. Just a basic triple rare. Yeah, I mean, not triple rare, single rare. If it was a triple rare, it'd be the worst triple rare ever, even worse than Catalyst somehow. But, makes sense. Could use like effect protection. Makes sense. Not bad. Brave Ride Dragon. This one seems to have a lot here. It's a grade 3 triple rare. Ooh, we're getting some kind of Gabwellius, I guess. If I'm gonna take a guess here, because there's like rear guard drive checking involved. Already. Well, they become Vanguard circles, but you know what I mean. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, if you have Mirage, counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Ride Dragon from among them, called to rear circle, and shuffle your deck. Perfectly fine with me. I think the only thing about it that could potentially have been changed is to disclude doing it during the battle phase, just in case there's a way to get more multi-attacks by like superior calling there, because now you want to be a little careful about that, right? But that's the only thing I can say. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 or greater unit Mirage in its card name, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, so less want to discard a card. So you need to ride upon it, and the opponent needs to be grade 3 or greater for this, okay? And so you got back, choose your Vanguards, and it gets 10,000 power and drive +1 on a turn. Okay, so yeah, no card advantage there, but for the Soul Blast, you get extra pressure and power, which is, yeah, this is definitely something you max out on. This is your key piece, because a few of these are like really nifty utility cards, and then this is your big one. This is your big one. Ooh, and you know what? Even though this is like definitely your rear guard of choice, probably, the thing that's interesting about this card is that one thing that's really interesting is that it doesn't take away from these other cards, right? Because these cards that just ride on your regular Vanguard circle, and then when you ride back to the end phase, you can get their skills. So like things like retiring or drawing cards, you don't really need to do that during the battle phase most often. So you could do that during the end phase anyway. So that's kind of interesting. Now, the only one thing that I want to mention, I want to mention this, right, is this effect does have, I think, one issue that, like, holds it back, right? Which is, I don't think it restricts you from doing it multiple times, right? Because if I'm understanding this right now, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, chat, right? But I think the way this works is, you can CB1 at the end of the battle that attacks, right? And it rides over to the rear guard. But then if you attack with it and you CB1, can you ride over another, like, rear circle? So does that mean you can do it twice in a battle phase? shenanigans, because if so, it does get a bit egregious. But I think if there was a restriction on that, this just feels really cool to me, dude. These guys are like insanely epic. Like you have one of the more interesting gimmicks, because it takes something that is so mundane and something we're like really accustomed to, which is the act of writing, and he freshens it up by taking the act of writing from a sort of mandatory, I guess, kind of procedural mechanic, and he turns it into the way to play. He turns it into the entire focus, right? And it's just there's a lot of things here that are also just kind of nice, right? The versatility of it, the fact that all these cards have like different kinds of utility. Anything can be a ride line card in your deck, which is so exceptional for something like D series. We see it more often in V series, right? Because in V series you have sort of like RNG reliant rides, because you have to write something you've been drawing into, right? I wonder if I could chest these on Untap. I mean, potentially, I think I'm gonna reach out to Dote about this a little bit, because yeah, these are something special. I gotta like commend him for that. Yeah, I would rate this like a 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason it's got the 0.5 down is because I'm not so sure about this bit here, but it's just damn near perfect. It is a beautiful, beautiful archetype, right? If you got any soul charges, you could make a toolbox of options. You certainly could, dude. It's because yeah, that's a good point, Graham. If you soul charge cards, those are potentially things in your arsenal. So you even kind of have a little bit of like a dark soul or like dark states kind of thing going on there. But at the same time, it's not even completely dark states, because you still have soul build in some variants of Dragon Empire. Like Shotodoji kind of has a soul thing going on, right? So yeah, it's still in nation to be able to do soul-based shenanigans to an extent. This just blows me out of the water, man. I'm not gonna lie. As customary, the wheel just gets it right again. Really freaking well done, Nadote. I wish those had pictures, because I would put them on the freaking thumbnail. Those would go on the fridge. All right. Hey, Thunder. Yo, okay. He was here earlier in the chat. I hope he's here now, because he actually gets to see like the review live of his own cards, which I guess could be embarrassing potentially, but we'll see. All right, I made these a year or two ago to the day, and I couldn't find any Ice Knight art that was cool enough for the image in my head, so support in the replied comments. Ride Line. Rallying Wall of Ristalos is a grade 3. Hey, Thunder, yeah, you're here? Alright, we're reviewing it. So, continues the Vanguard circle. All of your grade 2 rear guards gain boost and can intercept from the back row. Your opponent cannot stop the intercept of your units. Okay, so that wording's a little kerfunkety. That is trippy. They cannot stop the intercept of your units is like an abstract effect, right? Because stopping is not a mechanic. Nothing in the game of Vanguard says stop other than in flavor text, right? So that isn't how that would be worded. Having said that, I understand the essence of the idea, and it's pretty cool. Let's see what else it does, right? Someone got really mad at Vargas, and Blankmeyer for that matter, right? And you know what, the anti-hostage cards, I guess. Well, no, I guess anti-hostage cards doesn't stop intercept, it just stops the effects of them. Cannot stop Giant! This is not something that exists, right? Out on the Vanguard circle, when this unit attacks, you counterblast one, search your deck for up to 2 grade 2 cards. Call the separate rear circle and shuffle the deck. Oh, I'm seeing the alt mile here. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose one of your grade 2 rear guards, and this unit gets the power and critical of that unit until end of turn. Ooh, okay, so you got a bit of alt mile, but it also kind of has this weird Brufus effect going on. Okay. Searching for 2 grade 2 cards to call them the separate rear circle, it does open up for early rush, and this is a Keter Sanctuary kind of generic boss because it calls any grade 2s. So you do have access to the wider pool of the Keter grade 2 options, which could include some pretty heavy hitting cards, right? So I don't know about that one too much. If the opponent's grade 3, yeah. So generally speaking, it would be 23 with the crit, and assuming Persona Rai, it's 33 with the crit, and these guys are 20k attackers. It's powerful. I don't know if I would appreciate it doing it that fast, because remember, all your grade 2 rear guards get boosts, so that means that even if you're going for a column, it's going to be like a really big magic number column, so I don't know. But then again, the thing is that you can also achieve something like this in Face Rook, and that actually has more inherent power to it, so it's probably fine. Continues the Vanguard circle. If you have 3 more units, if 3 more units intercepted this turn, this unit gets 5,000 power. Oh, okay. So your play pattern is establish board, use board to guard yourself, and then you get a defensive bonus on top of that. Again, it feels very alt-wild coded. Like the homie was like, I miss Scouting Owl. Let's make Scouting Owl again. It's really cool. Yeah, all right, I respect it. It's got Sword and Shield. It's somewhat reminiscent of Golden Holy Sword Gurgit, right? You have the ability to superior call units mid-battle. Those units have versatility in how you utilize them. You can use them as shields. So your board is your hand. And then when you do get enough of those intercepts, you trigger your Pseudo Unite. All right. Expert Blocker Velt. When wrote upon by Ristalos, discard a card. Choose a grade 2 or greater card for your drop, call to recircle, and if you called a grade 2 specifically, draw a card. Beautiful effect. Love it. 10 out of 10. Shield Handler Stella. When wrote upon by Velt, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 2 or less card from among them, call to a rear circle. But if you called a grade 2 card, you may soul charge 1. Ooh. So this is why I didn't run Rogue State Nuke my board. Yeah, it's very understandable, right? The wording is kerfunkety, but I definitely can see why you want that. Do you think Imaginary Gifts could come back to standardly rebalance it like how they did the Legion? It would be risky, I think. It's potentially possible, but they would need to do such a rehaul of Imaginary Gifts. And the thing is that this, I think Imaginary Gift Protect could be kind of helpful. Funnily enough, if we got back Imaginary Gift Protect, we'll do what V-Series did, which is they made a lot more Sentinel restrictions to counter Protect. Excel is just off the chain, dude. I don't know if we could ever get Excel. Force is an interesting debate, I think. I think Force is the one that is most viable because Force is not really antithetical or just inherently game-breaking on its own. It's that Force gets abused a lot, whereas the other two are inherently game-breaking by the way that they function. So that's my thoughts. Gigantic Barrier Builder, grade 3. This crap better gets grade -1 at some point. Auto on the rear circle. When this unit boosts, choose one of your rear guards, and it gets when this unit is. So wait, if it says it's boost, then it's probably going to get a grade minus, right? When this unit is retired from guarding circle after intercepting, put this unit to your soul, and if you're not countercharged this turn, countercharge 1. Ooh, I would probably put like an EB on the counter charge, admittedly. But aside, because you made this like a year or two ago, right? So maybe energy wasn't there by then. I'm not sure. But if it wasn't, I would personally put an energy blast on that. But aside from that, that is the spice, dog. I like that. Continues to the deck of the recircle. This is where the grade minus comes in. Restaldos, this gets grade -1. Intercept and wait. Why does it get intercept? Why does it get intercept? Because it gains the ability to intercept from the back row, but it doesn't get intercept because it's not a grade 2. Ow. Okay, no further questions. That's a great card. Put an EB on it, it's perfect. Jacques, Crystallized Wall. When placed, if you have a Vanguard Ristalos, Soul Blast 1 and Energy Blast 3. Okay, we've got the Bifront's cost. Choose from your back or rear guards and stand and it gets 5,000 power at the end of turn. So yeah, basically, if you are going for like the double front row call and not substantiating column, this helps you make columns. A bit expensive, but you're not actually using. Wait, no, EB is here, so yeah, you could have EB'd for this. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's a bit expensive, but it is. This can go so hard against a grade 2, dude. This can smash effing face. When it intercepts, it gets shield plus 5k to end that battle. Freaking Alden head-ass unit. I love it. 9 out of 10. Reviving Body Block Tulpa. When it's retired from Guardian Circle during the battle, this unit intercepted from the back row. You counterblast 1 and move this card to an open front row rear circle. Okay, so what's kind of interesting about Tulpa is that Tulpa has kind of a hidden restriction to it that we don't really see that I kind of like, which is that in order to call Tulpa as a multi-attack, but also to get as a defender, you're gonna have to call it in the back row, because that's how this triggers. So Thunder's kind of input a sort of sneaky way to sort of de-incentivize the multi-chain. And this is kind of similar because this also is redundant if you're going for, like, if you're going, you'd have to go for front row for this, but then this one's more of columns. So you kind of have variety here. It's got a good toolbox. All right. Icebreaker Knight Boraz. If you have a Vanguard Ristalos in its card name, this unit gains all the following. This is going to be a lot, it looks like. Auto in the Guardian Circle. Okay. When this unit intercepts, okay, this unit gets shield plus 5k. And you wouldn't need to put Guardian Circle there. You would just say when this unit intercepts. At the end of that battle, cost Soul Blast 1. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 card. Call to rear circle and shuffle your deck. That unit can activate its auto abilities when placed. Okay, so one thing to do about that, I get the idea and it's a really good restriction. For this one, I would change it to auto abilities not activate from that call. So that means that you can future-proof it against any other cards that would say give power-ups to Vanguards and stuff like that when you place a unit. Because that's specifically that unit's not doing the auto ability, but there's auto abilities aside from that unit that you should probably be more concerned about potentially, especially in something like Keter, right? You know Keter's a generic cesspool. Auto in the rear circle. When this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, or this unit is not boosted, put 2 normal units in different card history, drop on the bottom of your deck. Ooh, we got some dual knight action. This unit gets 2k for each of your grade 2 rear guards until end of turn. Rear with support in the next comment. Okay. Now, or this unit is not boosted is a really snazzy restriction. I'm not gonna lie, Thunder, I kind of wish more people did this. This is a nice way to do it, right? Because what it also doubles as is if you are going up against a grade 3 and you need to go fast, you can go full column, and then you call this, and you also call Jacques, and then because of both of these guys' abilities, you're kind of effectively getting back full columns without getting back full columns because of the respective effects. That's kind of nice. Also, it puts back your tools, and that's always a good idea. I think the only thing now is I might have wanted a revive effect, but this is putting them back in the deck, so you're kind of enforcing the whole Royal Paladin strategy, not reviving them. Sentinel Knight Darren is a grade 1. Deck or rear circle. Ristalos, it gets intercept plus 2k in grade. It becomes a grade 2. I got you. When this unit intercepts, if it's the 4th battle of this turn or more, some Aqua Force defensive wave-ass thing, okay? So if you want to discard, choose your unit's gonna be handled at that power. Ooh. Oh, that's sauce. Oh, that's sauce. Oh, this against Blankmeyer would be so peak. Oh my god, that's caliente. I love that it calls while intercepts. Yeah, it's trippy, right? You're actually understanding what he meant to do with the deck. Very cool. Like, one Keter man to another, we understand each other. Ooh, man. Okay. So it's an on intercept, and this is another reason why you need those intercepts to happen no matter what. But again, let's remember something really important about all this chat, right? Something that is a weakness, but also a very necessary weakness, and I appreciate this, right? This like says no to preventing intercept, right? It doesn't prevent these units from getting retired, right? Because you can still snipe them, which means against control decks, there is kind of a weakness here, and that's nice, right? Because it's nice that you have to kind of suffer one of the downsides of, because these intercepts are obviously really powerful, but you also have to suffer most of the downsides of intercept. He prevented the one that says you cannot play the game, which is fair, but the other ones is just interacting with the opponent. They have choices here, which means if the opponent wants to tech in some control cards, they could fight back against this a lot easier. Doesn't stop Blankmeyer's attack. Does stop the Zamoog. That's how you spell the grade 2 name. Zamoog. I think Zamoog has an extra U in there. Yeah, it won't stop Blankmeyer's attack. It'll stop either Zamoog or if they restood a Vadrock or Vadrock, right? So this is really clutch, because that's another thing. This is only on 4th battle of the turn or more, which means against a 3-attack deck, which is super rare, this wouldn't be useful. Or if their 4th attack is really weak, that's another thing, right? Because one thing I can see happening here is if I'm the opponent, right, and I see that the Darren is on the board, and I have 4 attacks. Let's say I went like rear, van, and then stood rear, and then, you know, I hit a critical, right? Normally I would attack with the 2-crit Vanguard, right, to try and like deny them that like 4. But this right here says that you want to attack the 1-crit unit, presumably if you can, attacking into a rear guard, but attack with the 1-crit unit. Sorry, not attack with the 1-crit unit, but you attack with the 2-crit unit, and then you attack with the 1-crit unit, but you kind of reverse how you do it, because the final battle being the big one is the one that like it stops. So you have to make sure you get around the coup de grace. I kind of mixed myself up there, but basically this one says that you want your big attacks to be like the biggest. So let's say you have columns. Now, customarily in Vanguard, especially with standard these days, you kind of poke, and then when you do restands, you use the full column so you can fight past defenses, right? Darren reverses that method. Because you want to go with columns so that you can maximize the shield value that they would need to use before Darren is live. So you're sort of fighting against Pyreris in a way, right? It's less restrictive on the turn order of it, but it's also more expensive, and that's definitely a good compromise. So anyway, now we've got Shield Generation Ruto. If you have a Vanguard with Stalos in its card name, grade +1 in Intercept. Okay. Now this one's actually an 8K, no matter what. So this is, unlike Darren, this one's only like partially a grade 2. When this unit intercepts, there are no other units in the same with the same name as this unit on Guardian Circle. Soul Blast 1 or Energy Blast 2. Choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets at the end of the battle this unit attack. If that attack did not hit, draw a card. Ooh. Okay. It's a really nifty draw card, but not only do you need to risk it getting sniped, you need to do the quintet wall thing of the opponent's attack did not hit, which means that draw cannot help with that battle. You need to actually put in your best effort to protect that battle, and then this really easy draw comes into effect. So it's easy on resources, but the conditions means it's kind of hard. Which means you have to set this up, right? If you know your opponent is... oh my god, this is such a fascinating deck because the way you guard with these cards really depends on what your opponent's deck is, right? Like, and I like the one person who mentions the Overdress matchup, Kote, because that's a good point, right? Levy, yeah, like Levy would be a really fun deck for this to fight against because the orientation in which Levy attacks and in which this guards is such a mind game, right? Because you're kind of like you know how in chess, right? There's a point in chess where the players become reactive to each other, and like they both set up their formation, and then they sort of cascade into the end game, right? Where let's say player A does a move, player B does a specific move to counter A, to which A then counters the counter, and this goes back and forth. That's the way this works, right? You have to set up the right board to deal with the right offense. This is pretty heat. It's pretty heat, dude. Ooh, man. Ooh. Okay. And this is like the perfect time to end too, because yeah, I want some art on this, dude. This heat. I've never figured out legit strategy. It's something that takes experience, right? But with experience, you can figure out strategy behind it. It'd be funny if there's a tourney with these decks, fun, fair, custom spinning against you. You know, custom card, like, fight nights have happened before in the past, and they could happen again, right? Especially if some support to, like, input these into Untap with some artworks and stuff like that. Both this and Anote's deck would be such heat. As a matter of fact, Drag Riders and Ristalos should fight, like, each other, you know? Because I could see where this deck could definitely give, like, Drag Riders, like, a tough time, but Drag Riders have, like, really good card economy and, like, better aggression, whereas this has, like, the more varied, like, defense. It's like, wow. Wow, man. Oh. This is also like a 9.5 or just 10 out of 10. This could release the game right now, and I would not only consider it fair, I would consider it strong, and I would play it. I would play this deck and try to lab it out. I would play it, man. I would play it so fast. Yeah, this is like Alden, right? Like, it doesn't protect the units the way Alden does. It's more like Alden, but it focuses more on making sure that the units protect you in different ways. Oh, it's such heat. Yeah, well done, Thunder. Just really well done. All right, now as Luis mentioned in the chat here, it's 6:55, which means we got 5 minutes of the Time Stranger stream, right? So I'm gonna end it for now. But what do we think, chat? Do we want to do more of these in the future? Do we like custom card review streams? This is of course going to be made into a video afterwards, so I'll just re-upload it as a video after the fact here. But do we like these? Yeah, I'm gonna upload it as a VOD as well, right? Because if we like these, man, I'm all for it. I like doing this too, seeing the comments and the side stuff. I think it's really good if like the designer is there in the chat while I'm doing it. It's really nifty. Yes, 100% SMH up and down. Heck yeah, shake my head up and down. Okay, looking a lot of confirmation here. All right, well, I know what that means then. When part 11 comes out, I'll be doing it on a live stream as well, and hopefully this time I'll have it like set up a little bit ahead of time so that I don't blindside everyone with these, but I just gotta had a spontaneous moment where I thought about it. By the way, where's the VOD? The VOD's gonna come out after the fact. We do stream first, and I take the stream and I turn it into a video after, so that's how that's gonna work here. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. If you guys did like this, well, you know what to do, right? Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Restalis is really interesting as Ryan's how Fravy's the guard. Yeah, I know, right? Scouting Owl, Escort Eagle, these kind of things. Yeah, it's really neat, dude. It feels like such alt mile, and I love it. Love it. So, with all that said, take care, God bless, and if you're a Digimon fan, see you in the Time Changer stream. But if not, see you in the next one. See you later.